Hey, what's going on, Rattlers? So October 2019 was the last time that I was able to attend an NARBC Expo in Tinley, and there is so much that I miss about going to these expos, and being here in Arlington for the very first Arlington NARBC Expo that I've attended in quite a while. Man, it really feels like things are starting to get a little bit back to normal. They aren't, but it just feels like they are. But there's so much that I miss about these expos, and one of the things that I miss the most is doling out a fresh batch of the Rattle On Awards. And this time I'm gonna bring on some guest judges for the Rattle On Awards. I'm super excited to get in there, so I don't think there's much more to say. Let's go check out the Arlington NARBC Expo, the first one I've done in a while, and the first NARBC Expo that I've been able to attend in a year and a half. I'm Dave Kaufman, and these are my reptile adventures.
At Zilla, we are dedicated to the innovation of caging, lighting, and equipment solutions that provide proper husbandry for your pet's long and happy life. To see our entire catalog, visit zillarules.com.
So I just ran into this mega rattler. Look at that awesome t-shirt. You even have the Rattle On bracelets. What is your name?
Desmond.
Desmond, and what did you get here?
We got this lychee.
Look
it has
at
this
that.
nice little stamp here.
Is this your first lychee or your 107th?
I think it would be like about 15.
50 lychees. You are on your way to being like a premier breeder. You're gonna have a table here in no time. All right, so I just ran into these two rattlers. What's your name?
Jeremy.
Jeremy and
Josh.
Josh, and what do we got here?
We just bought this red hypo blue bar translucent. This is gonna be our male breeder.
That's a good looking dragon.
We saw a few today, and this is the one that really stuck. A couple were a little more expensive, a couple were a little less expensive, but this is the one that really
There
caught our
it
eye.
is. You shop until you find what you're looking for.
Exactly, yes.
Awesome.
And then we also just got this watermelon jag hognose. This is also going to be our breeding female.
All right, but just so that we know, you can't breed that to that.
No, of course not.
I'm just, what's your name?
Lily.
Lily, and where are you from, Lily?
Texas.
Texas, and what do you got?
Leucistic XLR.
You have a leucistic XL, and you know the best thing about that?
What?
You don't need to feed it or clean up its poop. All right, so Carl here, we featured you on the channel before. Catalia always has you on her channel because you have some amazing geckos, but it's not just the geckos. You have some pretty amazing display ideas here, like these. Look at these. Black. I mean, look at these geckos here. But explain this to us.
Okay, so I've been breeding geckos for over 20 years, and I've bred crested gargoyles and lychees, and as we all know that breed them, they fire up and fire down.
Yep.
We take them to shows, a lot of time, what they do, they fire down and don't show their true potential. So I've always been frustrated, when I have a lychee here and it's all washed out gray with a high price, it's hard for somebody, first of all, to fathom that you can't really see what you're paying for.
Right.
And for years I've been frustrated, like when I first unveil in the morning, I pull the cards, they're all fired up and look great. But 15, 20 minutes
Then
later,
you get them here under the lights.
they're all gray.
Right.
So recently I thought of an idea to have a display that would black it out completely and keep it stress-free and hopefully stay fire up. Well, I had a prototype made, and I used it for 4 shows, and it worked the entire weekend. So I just had the okay and had this made by MR Exotics, put my idea to 3D for real. And here they are. It's the debut, first show I brought them to, and they're working. Animal, as opposed to being washed out gray, you got color, pattern.
That is a fantastic idea. So look at this. We've got them all blacked out like this. You just lift it up, and that guy is already fired up, as opposed to one that's just sitting out in the lights like this, fired down. Look at this guy over here. Beautiful lizard, but not fired up. You come over here, look at the difference. I love coming to these expos to see innovation, because that's what excites me. And this idea, you just can't get more innovative than that.
Right. The only catch to this, I know I probably lost sales this weekend because I've seen people just walk by them or actually look at these and not realize they just.
That is a downside.
So
People think that they're sold, right?
It's going to take a little while for it to get, but I think in another season or two, these are going to be everywhere.
This is a really amazing idea, and I'm so glad that I was able to give you this idea and have you implement it.
That's great.
And Brian Cusco is here too.
I am Brian Cusco.
Brian Cusco.
If you're not watching my videos that I filmed from this show, well, you're not a legitimate person. Or not that being a legitimate person is something that you should be proud of, because there's some huge perks to being illegitimate. I should know, because I am an illegitimate person. Be like me. Be like Brian. Talk to Dave's camera and say things that are just coming out of your mouth.
Brian Cusco, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so it's time to roll out the Rattle On Awards for the April 2021 Arlington NARBC Reptile Expo. And we're going to start with lizards. So I have asked the one and only Catalia to be a guest judge. So Kat has found the winner of the Rattle On Awards for the best lizard here. Kat, what have you found?
So this gecko, if anyone watches my videos, they know that I have an obsession with crested geckos. Yeah. So this one it just stood out to me. It's one of the prettiest geckos at the show. Actually, it is the prettiest gecko at the show. And the reason why I like this guy is because, first of all, it's a lily white, which is a highly sought after gene still. But like this guy is amazing because he's a tricolor lily white, and honestly, like, I don't see hardly any tricolor lily whites, because most of the time it seems like their color gets kind of washed out with the lily white gene, and tricolors are my favorite morph of crested geckos, or I guess my favorite color scheme.
Right. I'm glad that you picked this one, because look at those tiger stripes along the side.
I know.
I mean, just the colors, the browns and the oranges, and then that lily white just kind of pops right out.
I kind of want to buy him.
Well, he is, can you guys see that? $3,000.
I bet he's worth every
This
penny.
gecko is $3,000. So out of all the crested geckos and other lizards that are found here, you selected this one, and I'm really glad that I asked you to be a judge, because that's probably the one that I would have picked as well.
You think so?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You like crested geckos, right?
I'm getting into them. I'm getting more into geckos. I really am. But I'm getting like really into the gargoyle geckos. But man, when you see a crested like that, I can definitely see why this is your pick for the 2021 Arlington NARBC Reptile Expo Rattle On Awards for the best lizard here. So when it comes to the April 2021 Arlington NARBC Rattle On Awards for the best snake here, I've asked Garrett Hartle from Reach Out Reptiles to be our guest judge. All right, so Garrett Hartle, you are the guest judge for the 2021 Arlington Rattle On Awards for the best snake here. Show us what you found.
Best snake and show. This is a big pressure, you know, because I mean snakes, holy smokes, snakes, there's so many snakes. So, I mean, obviously you all expect me to pick a reticulated python.
I did.
Yep. But, and there were some beautiful reticulated pythons here, but sometimes you find something that is so unusual, and it just like it's truly special, and no one knows why. So hopefully I can help you guys have an appreciation for what I think is the best snake at the show. We actually have 3 of them here.
Look at this.
These are a Puerto Rican boa. These are CITES 1 listed, basically meaning these are these are I don't, are they endangered species? No.
I don't think they're as much as endangered as just protected.
Yeah, so these are very, very heavily protected. You cannot move them across state lines without permits. So these are somewhat similar. You know, a more commonly known family member would be the Dominican red mountain boas. And like those boas, these go through a huge color change as they grow. They're very unique head structure, almost lizard-like. I mean, you guys know me with the Superdorf retics. I love insular races of anything.
Right.
Because when you have an isolated population, they just become so unique and so incredible, but at the same time, they come from such delicate habitats that they really need a lot of protection. And these snakes are barely clinging on to existence in the world. It took so long for them to become what they are, and in a relatively short period of time, we may lose them. So this might be a snake that you can enjoy here that previously didn't even exist here in the state of Texas.
Right.
And you also look at the hurricanes and natural disasters that come through the islands like that
Easily wipe out fragile
yes. Their habitats threaten more than anything else versus the over-collecting, I think, now.
So, Puerto Rican boas may not look like much if you were expecting to get some kind of like a bumblebee ball python or a purple albino retic, but this is something that is currently barely here today and maybe completely gone tomorrow. I love the bellies too. Look at that cool belly markings on them.
I just wanted to give a shout out to Eric Hernandez Chacon, was an actual breeder of these. He's a friend of mine from Iowa that is originally from Puerto Rico. He runs Bazooka Ectotherms, and he's actually the one that produced these.
So because of the absolute uniqueness of it and the fact that this might be the only video of Puerto Rican boas on the internet anywhere, that's why I chose them for this year's Rattle On Award for the best snake in show.
So when it comes to giving the Rattle On Awards for the best Chelonian here, you know, let's face it, there's not really a lot of Chelonians, which are turtles and tortoises. So comment below, let me know if you guys want to see more turtles and tortoises at expos like this. I know I sure do, but when it comes to giving out the Rattle On Awards for the best Chelonian here, man, wait until you see what I found at EMS Reptiles. So check this little guy out. This is a cogwheel turtle. They're also called Southeast Asian spiny turtles, but look at that shell and look at those really cool like sawtooth. These guys look like saw blades. These are the coolest little turtles, but unfortunately as these guys get older, they're gonna lose that saw blade effect and their shell is gonna be, well, more smooth than it is here. But man, these are cool little turtles. Just look at this little guy. But in the wild in Southeast Asia, these guys are mainly herbivores, but in captivity they will eat some meat, but these guys are basically vegetarians out in the wild. And where these guys live in Southeast Asia and down into Borneo and the surrounding islands, these guys actually live in streams and very clear water streams. So their care, they really need clean, fresh water at all times. And this is what's sometimes known as a specialty turtle because of the care that they need. But man, I really wish that these guys would keep that saw blade effect into adulthood. But again, as he gets older, that saw blade is going to get smoother and smoother. But man, as juveniles, these are really amazingly cool turtles. And the thing that I really love about this turtle is, look at that carapace. Kind of looks like a heart. I don't know, maybe I'm getting sentimental in my old age, but I don't know, a heart-shaped turtle? I don't know, that's pretty cool in my book. This really awesome turtle is from the EMS Reptiles table. They're from Houston, Texas. And as soon as I saw this guy, I knew that this was gonna be my pick for the April 2021 Arlington NARBC Reptile Expo Rattle On Awards for the best turtle here. when it comes to giving out the Rattle On Award for the best new breeder here, it's a really hard selection process because I walk around, see what people are working with, interview them, ask them their stories, see how long they've been working with that particular reptile that they're working with. It's a really lengthy process for me to pick a winner. But I think I picked a good one over at Crested G Ranch. All right, so this is Julie Ann Todd from Crested G Ranch. You guys are a husband and wife team that have been doing this for, what did you tell me, like 2 years?
Yeah, almost 3 years.
Almost 3 years. And so how did you get into crested geckos?
Well, I was really looking for something for my classroom, and a crested gecko just kind of seemed like the perfect fit for us.
Right.
So we got Oliver, and we loved him and decided we needed one for home. And we left NARBC with 3 more geckos.
There you go, as you do.
And it's just kind of, yeah, went from there.
That's fantastic. And look at all of these really amazing geckos. It's not like you have just kind of the run-of-the-mill $35 crested geckos. You really have something amazing. Like,
we are looking at a nice female quad stripe.
Whiskey River, I'm trying
dark.
to remember.
Everybody likes the dark ones.
Dark and the cream, yes, with the big head structure.
that is an amazing gecko.
Yes. Oh,
I mean,
thank
you know, I could do the entire video just on your geckos here, but wow. Okay, we got to see this one.
Okay.
Waka Waka, yeah.
Okay, so his parents are these two right
Up
up
there,
here.
okay.
Right, So mom's from Lily Exotics and dad was a JB's Cresties.
Gotcha.
Well, we still have both of them. Not it was. We keep them. But this is one of our prize guys right here.
That is amazing.
So he's a lily white, a tricolor lily white.
So lily white is one of those genes that when it first came out, it was like, all right, so it's the first crested gecko morph, let's call it. But now that we're seeing, you know, all these other things put into lily white,
right?
Now that gene is just really coming alive.
Mm-hmm.
So how many geckos do you guys work with?
We have about 150 currently.
150.
Right.
Including that's adults and babies. That's including everything.
That is a sizable collection for 3 years in. All right, so you're a full-time teacher.
Yes.
What do you teach?
5th grade science.
5th grade science, okay.
That's perfect for doing critters.
Absolutely,
kids
and I'm
love
sure
them.
your kids love these guys.
Oh, they do. They do.
Well, your passion and your dedication to these geckos really shines through.
Oh,
thank you.
you.
That is awesome.
We even redid our upstairs.
So you did
last summer.
you redid the upstairs of your house?
It was just plain,
just for the geckos.
Storage.
It is a
Well,
reptile room now.
You guys are living the dream.
Yeah.
You're living the total reptile dream. I love it. You guys are a husband and wife team.
Yes.
You started this company. See, these are the stories that I love. This is amazing what you guys are doing here. I mean, your presentation is amazing. So again, congratulations guys, and congratulations on your company here. I wish you all the luck in the world. This is great.
Thank you.
And this is why this was kind of a no-brainer to give you guys the Rattle On Awards for the best up-and-coming breeders. Well guys, that is the end of the April 2021 NARBC Expo here in Arlington, Texas. You know, I have looked so forward to coming to another NARBC Expo that now that it's over, man, it's a little sad. But I gotta catch a plane in about 15 minutes, so I gotta get out of here. So as always, all the links to everybody featured in this video, including all the other awesome YouTubers that were here, are in the description below. Go check them out while you're down there. Check out our sponsors as well. Big thanks to them. Without them, this channel wouldn't be possible. So, and guys, big thanks to you for tuning in, and until the next reptile adventure, love the planet, feed your reptile obsession, and rattle on.